any of it's really phasing them. I don't think it's going to hold either of them back.
No, and that brings us back to our maps. That brings us to where they're going to play, how are they going to play. Envy are very public with their Montaigne speciality. This patch, this most recent meta, Montaigne is in a very strong position.
And Envy's been pioneering that, really.
Yeah,
They've been pushing that out hard.
Yeah, there are some teams in Europe and North America which they bring him in because, he's really strong. Now, you can't ignore him in a lot of situations, so they will give him a go. But no one's quite managed to get it to that point that Envy has. Envy have got these very refined strategies, very well thought out ideas, and just, as we mentioned, because they're such an old team, because they've all been together for so long, this cohesion which you need when running with a shield like that just is almost effortless for them. So how Error are going to handle that and what maps they're going to go on play on, because some of them have far bigger impact for shield play than others, is going to be a very, very big impact as to how this game unfolds.
Yeah.
When we had Envy playing in Season 3, they seemed quite a lot to like Clubhouse, Chalet, and Canal. When they went through the qualifiers, they picked Skyscraper 4 times, the brand new map, of course, that came with Red Crow. They played Border, they played Blank, they played Clubhouse. They basically play on all of the maps. If I was Envy, I don't know what I would think, oh, we must ban out, but I also don't know what I would think, oh, we'll let them have that. They're not strong there. They are good across most of our pool.
I would say for Envy, if I'm going to be doing a ban phase against Era, I would say probably want to cut out the more strat-heavy maps, the more refined ones from the North American and European regions, like, for example, Clubhouse. Clubhouse, especially during Season 2, we saw played almost every best of 3, every best of 2 even. It was a very commonly played map, and it got really refined down to the point. And then also, equally so, for Era, they're from North America. I know for a fact that North America has been pushing hard on Skyscraper practice, so maybe Envy's not going to want to take them to that.
Error also have had a long history of LAN finals and cross-region play, where Canal doesn't really fare too well for them.
Yeah.
So we could bring that out, but again, it doesn't work too well with Montaigne. He doesn't fit greatly on Canal because it's a lot of window play, it's a lot of range play, it's a sit back and take pop shots, which, yes, Error may be weak at, but you can't use your trump card in there. So the question is, have Envy done their research? Do they aware that Envy's weakness is here? Have they trained to deal with it? Or would they rather just take them to their comfortable holds and use their Montaigne?
Well, so that's a very good question. So do you think Envy have done their research? Because my instincts on that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
They look a lot
Envy's
at
prepared.
what's going on in NA and EU. Envy are clearly the #1 team in Asia. They are deserving to be here. And they've researched what's coming up. Here are the pick and bans. Let's
see how
let's find out how this goes. So we have live pick and bans now, and Envy will be banning.
Envy banning out the first one. We've had the player backstage, they warm up area, everyone was screaming and training and looking at things. Envy didn't play as much as the other teams. They were walking around, they were being friendly with people, they were chatting to people, and they were just keeping an eye on everything that's going on. So they're confident with the way they play and just learning and keeping an eye on what everyone else is up to.
Envy have banned out Border, and Error have banned out Bank.
Bank's not really huge in North America. It's not a very popular map. I think that's just a comfortable ban for them.
Error, who I said played Skyscraper 4 times in the qualifiers, they won't be playing that.
Well, as Kick said, Skyscraper has become very prominent in the North American meta. Envy know this and have got rid of it. The strat-heavy maps like Border, as you mentioned, Bank in some bomb sites too, all gone already.
And there's Oregon, which is a less strat-heavy map. It's a little bit more free-form.
We've seen so many different ways to play Oregon recently with the Hibana changes and with the most recent patches. We've had teams, Euronics, storm through it in the closed qualifiers in Europe by running very roamer heavy, by very free-form.
And I don't think either of these teams wants to play Cafe Discorsi. I don't think either.
So they were waiting to see who's going to spend their ban on that.
Who's going to use up their ban on that one. And now, of course, we'll pick one each, and the remaining map will be our deciding go-through. So Error still have Canal here to worry about.
Now they're looking at their last ban.
And as you mentioned earlier on, Clubhouse is still sitting here in the mix. It's something which we didn't think Envy might want to play. They didn't want to give that up to Error.
I'm thinking that Error's going to be banning Canal here, like you said.
It's a pick.
No, it's a ban. Error have their last ban.
Sorry,
yeah, I'm thinking that Error's going to ban Canal here leading into this, and then they're going to get Clubhouse for their first pick. But I'm not sure here. I'm still thinking about it.
Remember to tweet us all weekend with the hashtag 6Invitational. Let us know who you think is going to win between Error and Envy. Let us know who you think is going to win the whole thing. Consulate.
No, that's actually interesting. Error has historically not been very good at Consulate, so that makes sense that now they had to choose between, okay, do we go with a map which used to be our go-to map, which was Canal, which ended up being one of our not better maps, or do we go with a map that we've never been good with, which is Consulate? And
Consulate is not anything that I'd attribute Error's success to during Season 3 or the qualifiers. So
It's a
yeah,
really-
they've thrown that not. I guess they've thrown that not because they're worried about Envy on it, but just because it means nothing.
They're not
to
comfortable
them.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So our best of 3, and every series this whole weekend, all the way through to quarters, semis, and finals, it's all best of 3s.
I see Clubhouse being our last and third map here. It's a question of Chalet and Canal. Envy, what do you want to take them on first?
I think overall this ban phase is definitely favoring Era. I know that Era's comfortable on Chalet.
Clubhouse.
They're comfortable in Clubhouse. And there's a Clubhouse pick from Envy. Now that's really interesting. I didn't imagine that Envy would be wanting to take the Era to a very refined map, one they've played a long, long time.
They both played it
That
3
said,
times.
I
In
mean, they both played it,
qualifiers.
a long time. But I mean, the North American meta has been evolved on Clubhouse.
Yeah, but
extensively.
we also talked about how Envy are very active with their research. They've done
Right.
a lot of looking, and there's a lot out there to see on Era. And with the amount of playtime on it, Envy clearly feeling confident in what they've got and the
Hard
knowledge they
counter
have, and have something up their sleeve to deal with it.
So it's Clubhouse, Chalet, and then the server picked Canal. Thank you, server.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of the server picks at
Yeah.
the end of the map picks. I'm glad the server's getting some fun. So Clubhouse, Chalet, and Canal. Are we going to 3? We're going to see some Canal?
Clubhouse Chalet, I would say it's going to be 2-0, I would say, but I'm not really sure in which favor.
Oh.
It's going to be really, I think it comes down to how much research Envy did on Era's strats on both those maps, because Era's been playing Chalet, Era's been playing Clubhouse for a long time in a lot during pro leagues and outside in scrims. It's 2 maps that they're very comfortable on. And it really, again, it has to do with how much research Envy has done and how much time they've put into counter-stratting that.
I'm fascinated that you reckon it's going to be 2-0, but you won't call which way round.
I won't call which one because Envy could have done extensive research, because when you're playing a map and you've played it for so long on so many VODs through so many pro leagues, like you said earlier, it's really easy to look at what the team is doing on that map and just counter all of it. Just be like, okay, we're going to throw nade here because this player is going to be playing in this position all the time, something like that. And if Envy has done that research, then it is likely that they will be able to pick apart what Era is doing on both these maps.
But you're saying that if a team get off to a good start, either team, you reckon they'll take the second map as well.
Yes.
So how do you feel about this, Spanky?
Chalet being the second map is one of the ones which recently has started to develop a slightly more free-form meta in it too. We talked about Oregon being the most prominently free-form, people all over the place. Chalet, while the bomb sites tend to stay, we're seeing more and more players be left on the top floors, whether it be the libraries or the master bedroom. We've even seen some teams start to take that master bedroom bomb site as a choice to their point to defend it. So Envy could have this freedom to throw the spanner in the works and to bring something up there, while at the same time they've got lots of information on what and how Era have been playing Chalet up until this point, where they sit, as you mentioned. It's a very destructible vertical map, whether it be from above or below, and if they are confident in they know how and where Era are going to sit in these places and have something up their sleeve to attack and deal with it, I can see why they're confident in taking Chalet.
All right. Clubhouse, Chalet, and Canal await us then for the first quarter-final of the 6th invitation. Remember, there's a $200,000 prize pool this weekend for our world champions, $100,000 spread across PC and $100,000 on Xbox. And as I said, it is do or die. We've got teams here who came through the qualifiers. Some of them we've seen before, some of them we don't know so much about. But if you don't win your map, it's over. We've had all these months of competition. They've flown all this way to Montreal. Now it's time to make it count. We are going to Clubhouse for the first quarter-final of the 6th Invitational.
But not quite yet.
All right, we'll be going there soon. Oh, look at the crowd.
So, like, I'm liking the Lord Chanka sign. So, Clubhouse, I wanna hit on Envy's.
We'll be going to Club. Sorry, we will be going to Clubhouse in a minute. We're just getting something ready. Well done, everybody. Good dress rehearsal, audience.
We're prepped and ready to go. But on Clubhouse, I think, again, it's this very strat-heavy map. It's going to come down to who's countering who, what research has been done, and it's going to be very cut and dry. Now, I think Envy, with the new Montaigne meta, it's going to be giving them a leg up leading into this match, because I feel like it can be really efficiently used. So one of the problems when you're attacking a basement on Clubhouse is you have to force your way through these tight little corridors. You've got Blue Hall leading to Garage, and then you've got the tunnel. And all 3 of these are really, really, small lanes that you have to force down. And with Montaigne meta, which is what Envy's really good at, they're going to have an edge up in that sense.
Yeah, like the other thing which North America does, Europe hasn't done for a long, long time, is focus on that secret construction tunnel. Focus on that back entrance, which we have all talked about. If no matter what meta, no matter what operators are in, the key to Clubhouse is stretching your defense. It's a 5-man defense. It's a 5-man basement. Very rarely you'll see roamers on the map because of how spread out and how sectionalized that bomb site is. So you need to keep everyone down there. But if you can start to pull them apart by sending a solo Montaigne down a construction tunnel, who is a formidable force in his own now, you can sometimes take, and a lot of the time, have that doorway on the way out, having 2 players' attention to keep that guy locked in there. And that gives you 4 other players with 3 other points of entry to focus on and mess with and pull them apart and pick players off.
I think attacking basement Clubhouse, again, like you said, when you put a Montaigne in that tunnel, that construction tunnel, it's all about denying angles. It's all about making it so, okay, we have a Montaigne in this construction tunnel. You can't sit over there next to Blue Hall anymore, which allows you to move attackers through Blue Hall. And when you have control of Blue Hall, then you can force your way into Church through, for example, the bar drop. There's a lot of options that get opened up when you have an invincible sort of forward-facing plate with Montaigne. So I'm actually curious to see if Era is going to be adopting that in the middle of these matches, because it seems, especially on Clubhouse, it's a very sensible, plan meta. It makes a lot of sense.
And then that's just downstairs. Then we head upstairs. The bar side is where there's it's been something that people tried before Montaigne was buffed. It's been something people tried before he was good. It's trying to plant in that B-bomb site, knock it behind it, which, yes, it means it's practice. It means people have ideas of how to deal with it. But when Montaigne is your specialty.
Yeah, and you can even technically do it on the other bomb site. You can walk your way in through
the strip corridor.
Strip corridor, exactly, and just plant right in the doorway. You have a lot of options between stock and strip. You can deny anything pretty much with a Montaigne. So I think, yes, on Clubhouse it's going to be pretty insane.
Yeah, it's something which, again, as I say, it's been tried. It's been attempted by teams post and pre-buff. But Montaigne strats on that site still haven't been perfected by North America or European teams. We've seen them pulled out once as a rabbit out of the hat, and we get a quick lucky round. Or in more often cases than not, actually, it's crumbled and fallen apart very quickly.
Yeah, usually Montaigne lost back before the buff.
Back before the buff, and even after the buff, to be fair, teams would put so much pressure on, would you get in and plant fast, fast, and they die to someone that's standing in the corner with a shotgun, a Valkyrie that was run around, or smoke grenades are just in the corner, and while everyone's panicking to get them out of the smoke grenade, they're just getting picked off from their other angles. Like, it does require, yes, it's nice and easy to plant behind a Montaigne and stay safe when you're there, but you still need to, if you're planting B, have control of construction. You still need to have that crossfire stage. You still need to have control of the garage and the lounge area. Or if you're in strip, you need to have the pool table. Even if you're not planting there, someone just sits on top of it, runs up and over and can C4 it or throw it down or shoot down. And it's not just a run in and plant. And a lot of the teams didn't seem to want to invest that extra time in controlling the rest of the map. They just went, we've got a Montaigne, just stand behind the plant. And it fell apart. So providing they take their time and they're cool about it, which when you play it as your focus operator, they kept mentioning it, you have that. You have that idea in your mind, and if Era aren't ready for the other stuff that's going to happen first, then the Montaigne's just going to freely just stroll on in and stick a bomb down, and then it's 45 seconds of you to run at me, and this doorway is immovable. Yeah,
but taking a step back from Montaigne for a second, and just looking at the map itself, we've got, what have we got? We've got a map, Clubhouse. It's a very strat-heavy map. It's very refined. It's been played a lot. And I think, and I've talked about this earlier, but I think that it's going to give Era the leg up here, regardless of the new meta, regardless of the fact that Envy has been pioneering that, and regardless of the fact that it is extremely strong, Montaigne, I get it. But Era has been playing this map for a long time, and they are going to have some things up their sleeves to deny stuff like that. Like a stock take, for example. Yes, Montaigne is now almost impervious to C4 from the front, but there are other ways to deal with somebody trying to plant in stock. There's smokes, of course. There's barbed wire. And I think, even more so on basement, barbed wire is going to be one of the leading forces in stopping a Montaigne push. Because when you have a Montaigne, you have to sacrifice something. Like, for example, grenades. So let's say you only have one grenade operator and maybe an Ash if you're lucky. That means you're only going to be able to get rid of 2 spaces of barbed wire, and then whatever Ash can take care of on top of that. So if you bring enough barbed wire or something along those lines, or if you have enough smoke to delay that Montaigne or eventually just stop him, there's not a whole lot he can do about that, really. He will start to stall out. So I'm curious to see, will Era be able to put that into effect? Will Envy, if Era is doing the same thing, what's going to happen with that mix-up?
We also have, along the same vein as Smoke now, Echo is a recent brought in. Who does a very similar job to varying levels of success on different maps, but it's also something which a lot of the American teams have said are now starting to bring Echo into their meta, and if they bring out both a Smoke and an Echo, advancing in such a split way is a very, very tough task against a shotgun in Echo's hands, his drone in his hands, and a shotgun in Smoke's hands. That's a very tough thing to do as a single player, even with a shield in front of you.
Right, so we've got lots to look forward to. I'm hoping to see some Echo play as well. He's been underused since he's been launched, but I'm suspecting this weekend we're going to find out a lot about how to have some success with him. Right, we are going to do this then. The 6th Invitational, the first qualifier, and we're going to Clubhouse.
So here we are. I mean, it's round number 1, and one of the things that we've heard about in the past is that Envy is only going to bring one of their operators here for with nades, and that's the Buck that we see being brought right now.
Yeah, Kix brought up why that could be a problem earlier with a lot of the barbed wire situations going on here. You also do see Smoke and Echo, as Panky was just mentioning. That could be interesting in combo in terms of stopping them from coming from 2 different sides or denying a plant if they're able to try and creep it in. But they are bringing that Montagne that they were talking about.
Yeah, and one of the things that we're going to see here from the attackers, though, is the Hibana Thermite being brought. And the biggest reason that's going to be brought here on this map is mainly to open up all 3 drop hatches and still be able to get that church wall or open up construction tunnel.
Yeah, and we are seeing a Buck. Something we have been able to see now that Hibana's in the mix is them actually being able to open up the kitchen floor and the kitchen hatch now. So you have Buck able to open up a lot of the floor, Hibana able to open up the hatch safely from the window, makes it so that you can actually put a lot more pressure on than you used to be able to, especially with both Thermite and Hibana here.
And so now that action phase has just begun, we are going to see everyone rotate back downstairs. Now, what I'm curious to see about is how Slash is going to play Echo. We talked a little bit about how Echo is necessarily not an operator that has been chosen a lot recently.
Yeah, usually he plays Valkyrie, so
he does.
It's a surprise that obviously they want to change things up a little bit. They are going to have a little less intel, though. They're not going to have the cameras, but he's still going to be playing an intel role, having a drone that he can move that has a camera on it. So he's going to be a little more mobile in terms of providing that intel.
Now, Quantic did get spotted at by that camera as he pushes on into the bar. Very, very erratic with his line of sight here, trying to see who might be peeking around, pre-firing his way through the map, and it's exactly what you should be doing. You know that players could potentially be around, so they're always looking for that pre-fire, looking for that quick shot. Now, Buck's going to open up that hallway as Hibana makes his way down. Ysera's coming down the main stairwell here.
You see a lot of aggressive play in this top floor where they're just pre-firing and looking around corners because they know with Hibana in the mix there has to be a lot more roam play, but we're not seeing Era actually do that roam play that we would expect from the current meta.
Now we're going to be watching Lunar come on down here as Montagne. The wall above Church is going to get opened up here. That's going to allow for a nade to get thrown on in from Rev.
We've seen Slash actually standing there on his drone. You see him on his camera. He's just finally switched off now that he knows that's about to get breached.
Slash gets hurt just a little bit by that Hibana charge as a nade comes down on through. And Lunar trying to reload his weapon as he comes on through Motorcycle. And he's going to be pushing into Church here momentarily after he throws a couple smoke grenades out. Snake is still underneath inside of the kitchen, or underneath the kitchen, as Rev is trying to peek on down to get the shots down onto the castle. Corey finally moves his way into the basement hallway, opening up that Church wall, which is going to be exactly where they're moving into plant. He's got the diffuser in hand. Lunar pushing on in now as the full shielded Montagne. He spots Slash right behind the minibar, who's rotating around towards the Motorcycle hallway.
A lot of pressure coming in here, and the plant's actually coming down already.
Plant's coming down. Corey's going to fake it out as we have the revolver kill right onto Slash. Lunar getting the first kill of the game. And now there's 60 seconds left to go. Corey's still stuck in Motorcycle. There is that smoke grenade. That's going to push them here even further in. And with a shotgun here from, I believe that was Eclipse. Yes, Eclipse is going to get that kill right onto Corey as Avian strafes across and gets a headshot down onto Quantic. You've got a 3-on-3 at the moment. 40 seconds left to go. And Buck's DMR is just annihilating K9 there. We've got Ysera here at the bottom of the central stairs. Looks as though we're going to have multiple people down. And it's going to be Quantic, Ysera, and Revik both getting all the kills there.
That was really looking like it was a round that was going in Era's favor. They had only lost Slash like very much towards the end there, and then all of a sudden all the tables turned. That Montagne pushed in, they got all the kills, like Thermite being down didn't matter, but that was very much a last minute push on there, but it was well played. And I like some of the things, that the small details they were doing, like you saw, for example, when the Hibana discs went onto the reinforced wall, he shot out the bottom row to leave just the top 3 to make it a thinner hole. Obviously they had planned that. Yep. That's not something you just do improvise.
Yeah, and one of the things we saw from from Era was that gas grenade. It pushed Montagne, pushed Thermite into the Motorcycle, and that allowed Avian to get that, or Eclipse, I'm sorry, to get that shotgun kill. what I would have liked to see is Smoke rotate around, throw another one in from the doorway of Church instead of just through the walls by the minibar.
Yeah, it looked like Era lost their kind of pinch control at a critical moment, and that's what cost them. They had a great pinch, and then when Eclipse got that kill but got downed, they lost a lot of control of that Church area right there, and I think that's ultimately what cost them, is just not being able to keep it like just solidly pinched from both sides.
Yeah, it was a very